Hi Facebook, it is right on Wednesdays and it is time for our weekly recap. So I'm going to let Facebook build an audience. Facebook says it's building me an audience, so we're going to let Facebook do what it does and then we are going to get started. I hope you guys had a good Wednesday and have had a great week thus far. My week has been super busy and it's not over yet in terms of busyness. I'm on a little bit early because I have some errands to run. This is the only day I have where I can run some errands in terms of this work week. So I do want to get a few things done. Not anything on my things to do list, but I did make note of what I need to get done. I think it's in my other bag. Just so that I'm not running all over Albany trying to get a few things done and get off track. You know, get off work, sometimes you get happy. So I'm looking forward to going and running these errands, but I do want to stick with my list so I am not all over the place and I can get back home, get in the bed, eat, and get ready for work on tomorrow. In terms of the job, it is still going well. Things are kind of slow. We have not had a lot of students come into the lab, but I am going to work with a student on Friday. She's just having a hard time overall just getting her ideas on the paper. So we are going to work with that. I do believe I have a new method. I'm going to call it the MC. And I'm looking forward to using it on Friday with this particular student. Very, very nice student. I have not had any run-ins with any other students in terms of their receptiveness, in terms of their, they come to the lab, they want the help, and they are going back. And, the ones that I do see more than one time, I can tell they're going back and they're making the corrections based off of the information that they are getting from the Writing Center. So that is awesome. I absolutely love when you are able to give advice or give counsel or you tutor and you can see where you said or where you helped out is actually beneficial. So I saw that with you guys. You guys were awesome on Sunday. I really enjoyed being on live with you guys. The comments were awesome. And I could tell people really, enjoyed the video series. So this week we were talking about, or are talking about, goals in all shapes and sizes and how we are able to take our things to-do list and make them daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. And depending on how big the things to-do list is or the item on the things to-do list is, then we're able to actually make yearly goals, and we can possibly even make some life goals off of the things to-do list that we create. And these are your generic things to-do list. I don't have one here. Oh, I have mine for the week. I have this one. These are your generic things to-do list, things you need to kind of take care of immediately. But you can create your things to-do list based around some lifelong goals that you desire to have or that you desire to achieve. We talked about on Sunday night how 83% of the population they do not have goals, and of those 83% or a 14%, they do have a plan in mind, but their goals are unwritten. And we talked about there are a lonely 3% of people that have goals that are actually written down. We've talked about previously here on Right On that the stuff that we write down, remember, it comes to the forefront of our minds, and then the brain, as we are writing, it signals or it triggers to the brain that the information that we are writing down needs to be remembered. So our brain, in the actual act of writing, physically writing information down, they are working together in our minds, and this is the process by which we are able to get things done. So I stressed in the last video the power of writing information down, especially our goals, because people who write down their goals, which was our first takeaway, that people who write down their goals accomplish significantly more than people who don't. And I gave you some more numbers. The study found that the 14% of people who have goals, and these are the goals that are in their minds and not written down, are 10 times more successful than those without goals. However, the 3% who have goals that are written down are 3 times more successful than the 14% of the people who have the unwritten goals. So we do see a pattern of, if I write this down, then I am putting myself in a position to be more successful, just because I'm going to complete the goals that I said I've written down, that I said that I have written down. Why? Because your brain is going to remember that you need to do it. And so you're going to be that much more apt to sit down or get up and go and complete the goals that you have set for yourself once those goals are written down. My mom told me she believed, she wasn't looking at her list at the time, that she had gotten everything off her things to do list done. She was on the video. You know, she watched Sunday and she wrote her goals and her things to do things down on her list, and she said, I believe I got everything done. I talked to her earlier today. So we are able to see how much we're actually able to accomplish when we write information down. So our second takeaway is that goals are not just things we want to accomplish in our lifetimes. Your things to do list can be your goals for the day, the week, and the month. And what I'm going to show you on Sunday is how I take my things to do list and I break them down by the day. And most of the time I'm able to spread them out over the week, because this is for me like a weekly checklist or a weekly things to do list. And so I'm able to, on a weekly basis, kind of manage these things. But I do have, I don't think I have anything that's on here that's kind of ongoing to extend beyond the month, or to extend the month. I don't. Not on this particular one. I do have some things I need to work on for the month, and that's this sticky note here that's in my planner. I have to work on the next video series. This series is just about wrapping itself up. We have one more part to this series to do, and so that is something that I'm going to be working on as a monthly goal. So I probably will break that down on the goal sheets that I'm going to show you guys. 1, so that I can stick with it and get it done, and then 2, so I can give you guys an up-to-date example on how the goal sheets work that I want to share with you on next week. So please don't forget to join us on Sunday at 7:45 here, same place, same time. And I'm so excited about Sunday's series. So our last takeaway for this week's series on goals in all shapes and sizes is to celebrate your success. One thing I think we don't do enough as people is celebrate when we do well. So when you are accomplishing your goals, whether you set some daily goals, some weekly goals, some monthly goals, some 3-month goals, 1-year goals, however often you've decided to set your goals up, don't forget to celebrate your successes. You know, say, hey, I'm going to just say thank you. You may decide to go take yourself out to eat, depending on how big the goal is and what kind of time you have. You may decide to go on a vacation, just depending on what the goal is and how big it is. But don't forget to celebrate your success. I shared with you guys on Sunday that, you know, I'm a financial steward, and there are certain things you had to do on the map. It's called destination. So I was doing the things off the map, but I was not celebrating at each destination, and how that put me back at the beginning, back on destination 1, when possibly I think I had gotten up to destination 2 or destination 3. And so once I started celebrating those successes of completing that various items that were on the money map, then I was able to complete them and stay in a position where I wasn't backtracking or going back. So celebration has its place. For whatever reason, it helps the accomplishment stick. Don't know the science behind it. I just know it works. Please, if you guys know the science behind one, I am most definitely curious, like the actual science behind how our writing in the brain works. I guess I just need to do the research. And then these numbers, remember I was talking about on Sunday, you know, 14% have goals, and that's 10 times more successful than those without goals. And then the people who write down, the 3% of people who actually write down the goals are 3 times more successful than the 14% with the unwritten goals. I really do want to know what that number is. I know it's an X in there somewhere, and honestly, I don't feel like looking for it or putting on my thinking cap to get it done. So Facebook, I'm still waiting on some instructions on that. You guys run across an answer, or if you are able to do it, I would love to know the information. Maybe I'll sit down and come up with some math numbers, and maybe somebody can actually check them to see if they're right. My math is not horrible, so I may be able to figure it out if I sit down and do it. So those are our takeaways for goals in all shapes and sizes. Takeaway 1, people who write down their goals accomplish significantly more than people who don't. Takeaway number 2, goals are not just the things our goals for the day, the week, and the month. And then our last takeaway was to celebrate our success. Anytime you have some check marks and you see yourself making steady progress, go ahead. Alright, so I lost you guys for a minute. Yes, I was playing with my hair while it came back on. So, but I was done. I really was done. So great. Celebrate your success. Your things to do list can turn into goals, and then writing down your goals will help you accomplish significantly more than people who don't. So let's be a part of that 3% of people who have written down goals, who are 3 times more successful than the 14% of people who have unwritten goals, and those people are 10 times more successful than the people without goals. So that is our Wednesday, Right on Wednesday recap. On Friday, you will see this video uploaded. This should, reappear in your news feed, and also Sunday's video will reappear in your news feed. I'll also upload or reshare the takeaways for this week. And then on Saturday, look for the information for the upcoming series part 3, series 2, how to manage your things to do list, part 3, calendar, journals, agendas, oh my. And I want to share with you guys a method that I use to keep up with my larger tasks. So I hope you guys join me for that. I am looking forward to this particular part of the series. All of them have been good, and they have done a beautiful job just building on one another. So that has been awesome to me to kind of see, as I'm on and I'm sharing this information with you guys, how it builds on one another just like seamlessly to me. And so this is our last part in this particular series. And then the week after, we will start series 3. And I can go ahead and tell you the topic is literacy. What does writing have to do with literacy? I know most of the time we hear the word literacy, and I believe this is going to be the next part. This is what I have for the next part. Literacy and how writing plays a part in that. Typically, most of us believe literacy is just reading, and that is so not the case. It is so much bigger than that. I learned on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to it. After that, we will get into punctuation. So it is coming, the actual, hey, where does this comma go? Hey, what about this semicolon? We are going to get into the actual writing, the dynamics of writing, mechanics, your grammar, and that kind of thing. We are going to get into that. So I'm excited about that as well, because I just didn't know, where it was going to come into play. So it is coming. If you have any grammar questions, any mechanical questions, any questions about sentence structure, paragraph organization, go ahead and email me, and that will help me organize. That should be series 4. That will help me organize series 4. Again, series 3, which is the next series that's going to start in May. We are going to discuss literacy. So please join me for that. Thank you so much for joining me for our recap from Sunday. And then again, don't forget, your goals come in all shapes and sizes. Anything you set out to do for the day is a goal. Anything you set out to do for the week is a goal. Anything you set out to do for the month, you guys, that is a goal. Don't limit your goals to just the things you want to accomplish in your lifetime. So I will see you guys physically again on Sunday, but look for the videos again in your newsfeed on Friday, and then upcoming information about next week's series or part to this particular series will hit your news feeds on Saturday. See you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your week, and then enjoy your weekend. Bye.